In the early hours of February 13th, 2016, a silent alarm triggered, not in New York, London, or Tokyo, but in a server room halfway around the world. No guns were fired, no masks were worn, yet one of the largest bank heists in history was already underway. Forensic analysts traced the intrusion back through layers of proxy servers, encrypted tunnels, and false flags. The digital trail was designed to disappear, but one pattern remained. Every path led indirectly, unmistakably, to Pyongyang. Pyongyang, a city of monuments and silence. Behind its guarded gates and blackout curtains, a different kind of army operates, not with tanks or missiles, but with code, patience, and a mandate to fund a regime under siege. Intelligence agencies call it Bureau 121, a covert unit within North Korea's Reconnaissance General Bureau, tasked not with espionage in the traditional sense, but with generating hard currency through cyber operations. Its existence is denied, its impact undeniable. Recruitment begins early. Top students from mathematics and computer science programs are identified, vetted for loyalty, and funneled into specialized training. They are not taught to ask why, only how. November 2014. Employees at Sony Pictures arrive to find their systems locked, their files erased, and their internal communications broadcast to the world. The attackers demanded the cancellation of a film. The message was signed, Guardians of Peace. U.S. intelligence would later attribute the attack to North Korea. The malware, later named Destover, didn't just steal data, it systematically destroyed it. Over 300,000 files wiped, workstations bricked, the digital infrastructure of a major studio rendered inert in hours. The attack sent shockwaves far beyond Hollywood. Financial markets twitched, governments reassessed cyber defenses. For the first time, a cyber operation had crossed a threshold. It was an act of coercion, with geopolitical consequences. February 2016. Hackers infiltrated the Bangladesh bank systems and submitted 35 fraudulent transfer requests via the SWIFT network. 5 succeeded. $81 million vanished into accounts in the Philippines. A typo in one request, Foundation instead of Foundation, triggered a bank review that stopped the rest. The stolen funds didn't stay in bank accounts. They were converted to cryptocurrency, routed through mixing services, and dispersed across hundreds of wallets. This wasn't just theft. It was financial camouflage designed to be untraceable. May 2017. WannaCry ransomware spread to over 200,000 computers across 150 countries. Hospitals, factories, government agencies locked out of their own systems. The demand? Bitcoin. The attribution? Lazarus Group. The collateral damage? Immeasurable. Attribution in cyberspace is rarely certain, but patterns emerge. Shared code fragments, identical infrastructure, operational quirks. For researchers, these digital fingerprints became a trail leading back to a single source. In a rare countermove, security firms turned the tables. They planted decoy documents, monitored attacker behavior, and watched as Lazarus operatives took the bait. For a brief window, the hunters became the observed. Between 2017 and 2023, Lazarus-linked groups stole over $3 billion in cryptocurrency. Exchanges in South Korea, Japan, and beyond became targets. The method was consistent: infiltrate, escalate privileges, and drain wallets before anyone noticed. March 2022. The Ronin network, a critical bridge for the Axie Infinity game, lost $625 million in a single attack. It remains the largest cryptocurrency heist in history. U.S. authorities formally attributed it to Lazarus Group. The funds? Still missing. Stolen cryptocurrency isn't useful until it's converted to cash. Lazarus relies on a global network of money mules, shell companies, and underground exchanges. Each transaction is small, dispersed, and designed to avoid detection. Behind the headlines of millions stolen, there are human consequences. Small businesses shuttered, medical care delayed, families locked out of their own digital lives. Cybercrime isn't victimless, it's just invisible. The international response has been sanctions, designations, diplomatic pressure. The US, EU, and UN have all targeted Lazarus-linked entities, but sanctions alone haven't stopped the operations. The incentives remain too high. Every attack teaches defenders. Every defense forces attackers to adapt. This isn't a battle with a finish line. It's an arms race played out in code, with global stakes and no neutral ground. Malware development is meticulous work. Lazarus operators reuse code, modularize functions, and test extensively. Their tools are refined over years. Each line of code is a weapon, each update an evolution. Lazarus rarely attacks directly. They route traffic through compromised servers in third countries. This obscures their origin, complicates attribution, and forces defenders to chase ghosts across jurisdictions. Beyond theft, Lazarus engages in influence operations, leaked documents, targeted disinformation, campaigns designed to sow discord, damage reputations, or shape narratives. In the digital age, information is both weapon and target. Attribution requires patience. Evidence must be corroborated, motives analyzed, techniques compared. In cyberspace, certainty is rare, but patterns, over time, become undeniable. North Korea faces some of the world's toughest sanctions: trade restricted, assets frozen, diplomatic isolation. For a regime prioritizing survival, cyber operations offer a lifeline: deniable, scalable, and highly profitable. No single nation can defend alone. Effective cybersecurity requires sharing intelligence, coordinating responses, and building resilient systems. The threat is global, so must be the defense. Training is continuous. New techniques, new tools, new targets. The next generation of operators learns not just to code, but to think like defenders, to anticipate, to adapt, to stay ahead. Governments can't do it alone. Private sector firms are on the front lines, detecting threats, developing tools, sharing intelligence. Their agility, innovation, and global reach make them indispensable partners in cyber defense. Artificial intelligence is changing cyber operations. For attackers, it means faster reconnaissance, more convincing phishing, and adaptive malware. For defenders, it means better detection and response. The race is on, and the stakes keep rising. Technology is only one piece. The human element remains critical. A compromised credential, a tempted insider, a moment of weakness. In cybersecurity, people are both the strongest defense and the most vulnerable point. The future of cyber conflict isn't about bigger attacks. It's about smarter ones, more targeted, more deniable, more integrated with traditional operations. The battlefield is everywhere, and it's always on. When attacked, what is the appropriate response? Proportional, escalatory, public, private? Cyber retaliation carries risks: unintended consequences, collateral damage, escalation. The rules are still being written. International law struggles to keep pace with cyber reality. Jurisdiction is unclear. Attribution is hard. Enforcement is harder. The norms governing state behavior in cyberspace are still emerging and being tested daily. Behind every line of code is a person, trained, directed, motivated. Understanding the psychology of cyber operators, their incentives, constraints, and decision-making is crucial to anticipating and countering their actions. Ransomware isn't just a tool, it's an ecosystem. Developers, affiliates, launderers, negotiators, each plays a role, and each profits. Disrupting this economy requires targeting every link in the chain. Zero-day exploits, unknown vulnerabilities, are the crown jewels of cyber operations. Lazarus has been linked to several. Their value is immense, their use carefully rationed, and their discovery a constant race between attackers and defenders. Critical infrastructure, power, water, finance, is increasingly connected and increasingly vulnerable. A successful attack here isn't about theft, it's about disruption, about leverage, about sending a message that can be felt by millions. Not all targets are governments or corporations. Small businesses, clinics, schools, they often lack the resources for robust defense, yet they face the same threats. In cybersecurity, size isn't protection, preparedness is. Technology alone isn't enough. Public awareness is a critical layer of defense. Simple practices, strong passwords, two-factor authentication, timely updates can block the majority of attacks. Security is a shared responsibility. This isn't a war with a beginning and an end. It's a continuous cycle of action and reaction, innovation and counter-innovation. For defenders, the goal isn't perfection, it's resilience, the ability to withstand, adapt, and recover. Behind the technical terms and headline numbers, there are human stories: care delayed, livelihoods lost, trust eroded. Cyber conflict isn't abstract. Its consequences are felt in homes, hospitals, and communities around the world. The Lazarus Group represents a new frontier in conflict, not fought with armies, but with algorithms, not for territory, but for resources, not with declarations, but with deniability. In this new world, vigilance isn't optional, it's essential. For governments, for businesses, for all of us.